like I said, Pac was not. He never shied away from conflict or or addressing something if he felt uncomfortable about it or if he had a question about it. He was raised to never be afraid to speak your mind and answer it or ask questions if if you're doubting something. So, he would never let anything just go. If that makes sense. So, normally, oh man, don't let it, let that slide. He would never let it slide. He would speak his mind. And that's just, he was raised, I always say, his mother raised a warrior, so he always needed a battle to fight, in my opinion. And I will say this, to my knowledge, I don't think that Tupac has ever lied to me. I don't think so. He may have, but and when I say that, I mean like he never just. I don't ever recall in him telling me something just to tell me something. You know what I mean? To pacify me. So therein would be constant conflict, even with him and me. If he didn't like something, he'd say it. And if I didn't like something, I'd say it. And, we were young, 19, 20 years old. So we would argue all the time. And so it was not like we didn't raise an eyebrow when something was going on. We're like, okay, what is it now? Pac would get into it with the sound men at the arenas. He'd get into it if he felt like somebody had beef with somebody that was traveling with us, like, this one incident where it was perceived that somebody stole Chuck D's jacket from backstage. Pac was at the front of it, trying to beat the dude down. There was another incident. We were in St. Louis, and it was him and Treach, I believe. We were on tour, and they got into an argument with like these trucker dudes or something. It was outside some bar, and I think one of them called him a nigger or something, and they ended up throwing a trash can through the window and busting the whole bar window, and the whole bar is chasing him and Treach up the street and all kind of shit. So I mean, that was just a everyday thing. Like, you would have to be. I always tell people, like, if you ask me to tell you a story, like, you have to ask me what story, because it's too much.
Chuck D, the incident where he got his jacket stolen and Tupac beat the guy up. What's the backstory?
I think we were in like Oklahoma City, and Chuck D's jacket came up missing, before a show, and it was this one cat that was supposedly the only one that could have taken it. And, long story short, he ended up getting beat down, right? And Tupac was at the front of that. For me, it was a little unfortunate because the guy was actually a friend of a really good friend of mine, right? So, and he claimed that he didn't do it, and it was, so I didn't get involved with it at all. But I heard that the jacket turned up, that he did do it, but yeah, it was a Public Enemy Chuck D thing, but Tupac took the liberty of taking charge of the situation. So when bro got caught and he got beat down, Pac was at the very front of it, probably landing the first blow or something like that.